YouTubes. This is going to be my first time doing the brakes on my Honda Ridgeline. This is a 2019. So what I've got here is I've got some brake pads and jack stands. I'm going to take you along for a ride. I've done brakes on my wife's Honda Odyssey and Nissan Maxima, old Maxima, but I've never done any Toyota Corolla. So it probably should be this pretty close. From what I gather, there's just a little bit different on the newer style brake setup. So take you along for the ride. First thing is you gotta jack it up, and there is a jack point here under the front. Alternatively, there could be other places, but this is where I found it. The car is still on the ground. You need to, since if you don't have an impact or air tools, you need to take, like, this is just the tire iron from that comes with the truck. So you gotta loosen up the all the lug nuts on both sides before you take it off the ground. I've got the car jacked up. Had to make some room in my garage. Yeah. Anyway. I was thinking about doing this outside, but anyway, okay, we're just changing the brake pads here. Okay, we got to take off the caliper bolts here for the slide pins. One here at the bottom, it's 17, and the one here at the top, also 17. Oftentimes you can just take off the bottom one here, and then this thing will just rotate up like a clamshell, and then you can hold it up with a bungee cord. So that way you don't have to take off this one. However, you do need to push this slide pin back. Okay. As you can, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if you don't have a lot of pad left. They said it was 2 millimeters. So they were trying to get me to do the brakes at the dealer, and I was like, no. So you can either use ratchet, or you can use a wrench and a hammer. I got it off. I loosened it up. I took my extendable ratchet, which is almost as long as my breaker bar, and and then you can just get that. Let me get my bungee cord. Got my bungee cord. What I'm going to do is we're going to hang these from the struts. Hopefully this is a long enough bungee cord. I used to doing this on different vehicles. So these just pull up like a clamshell, and out comes that. Yeah, they came flying out. So let's hang these from the struts like so, they don't come down. As you can see, these calipers the pistons are fully extended, and these things came flying off. These are off the brakes. They go in like this, and they help push the brakes out so they don't drag. And as you can see, I'm pretty low here. I'm mainly taking this video for my references and to help anybody else, because how these were, I don't know. They just flew out. My new set of pads comes with all new hardware, so I can just pop these out and slap in new ones instead of cleaning them. Looking at my new pads here, came with all new hardware. and new pads. Now, we want to make sure we orient them correctly. Like which one goes here and which one goes here by referencing the old pads, for instance, because they will look different. Here's one, here's the other. Note, this has got this in here. This is your wear indicator. And I believe, I got one here too. These are the ones that, see this one here. Yeah, this one, you see, no. Yeah, this one's like this because the wear indicator is up top in the back here. You can't see it. I can feel it. It's right back here. So I'm going to orient these by placing them like that, so I know which one goes where. And this one, usually they orient them. The way they put them, usually put them together. They don't put both rear ones together and both front ones together. So in this one, goes here. As you see, it fits and it kind of matches this one in how it looks. So we're going to look to see, make sure there's not any other clips or something that stick into this, to make sure it's the right one. You don't have to transfer pad, like a wear indicator from one pad to the other. Toyota Corolla, I had to do that. You can see that in one of my other videos. I'll put a link here. So that one's that one, and that one goes there. I'm gonna put these like that on the paper that was provided with them. This is part of the old hardware, and hopefully I get those in right, because I don't remember what it looked like exactly, but anyway. So that means these other two over here are for the other side. I don't know if you can see there, right up there is the wear indicator, which is that. So first thing we're going to do is actually push the pistons back, or we could take out these clips and clean up inside. Yeah, let's do that first. So we're going to take these hardware clips out for actually, yeah, let's just take this other brake out first. Yeah, there's the other one. See, they're same. Just being cautious. I've never done brakes on this car before. So, yeah, these are very similar to like my Honda Odyssey, except they don't have the springs there. So to get these out, it's probably, yeah, just take a flathead screwdriver and you get this. Okay, you're gonna clean up in here, and you're gonna apply brake grease as well. So remember, the orientation is like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down right below in the same orientation, and then get my wire brush and brake clean and start cleaning it. At this point, I'm going to need to push back the calipers. I have taken like a little bristle brush, not wire, just a soft one, and just kind of clean those off. If we see the boot getting into a binding, we may open this up and spray some WD-40 silicone in there to help lubricate it, to push it back. At this point, you got to be careful because you could tear the boots, which is not fun, because then you got to get a whole new caliper. So let's see where. Okay, what I'm gonna do, this is a dual piston. So I got the old brake pad here. I'm gonna put it like this. Use a big C-clamp and turn it back. I'll show you how that looks in a second. This is the kind of setup I'm using: the big C-clamp, the old brake pad, and just gonna push it in. Now I did open up the reservoir, the brake reservoir, in underneath the hood, because the fluid's going to go up in there, and from time to time you're going to want to go look at it, make sure it doesn't overflow. So it's a matter of just pushing this in. When this gets a little bit too far, you move it to this one, because this is a dual piston. So I won't bore you with the details. And then I've got the pistons pushed back. Got a little scare in the boot here, but that's okay. I got it back right. Got the first piece of hardware in, the new hardware, and now I'm gonna go work on this bottom one, pop it out, and find out which piece of hardware is the right one. So they might be the same, so I'm gonna put that one over there so I don't confuse it, and grab this one now, pop it out with screwdriver, flathead. There. Not left-handed, so let's see. There. Got this one. So go match up. I think these are just all the same. Or maybe not. Yeah. See this little part here? It's a little bit long. It was a little bit longer than the other one. So that means it's this one. I wonder if the top one was that way. Let me take a look at this. And you see how this one, the top one, this part is longer. So that means I needed to get the other one that was longer. Let me go make sure I put the right one in there to begin with. So just remember, this is the bottom one. Process of elimination, I did get the right one in there. As you can see, here it's pushed out, and the bottom one isn't that way. Isn't that way. So now we gotta clean this off, brake clean and a brush. And another way you can tell the top one from the bottom one is the top one have that, and the bottom ones don't. So just a little tip for you. Just notice that. Usually I do these one at a time, so I don't get them screwed up, which is glad I did that way. So we put this one in. And we're gonna put the brake pads in, but I'm first gonna lube these up with some the brake lubricant that they gave me at the store. What you do is you stick a little bit of this stuff. If you got, it's silicone, Siliglide, or whatever you want to call it. You put it on here, right here, right here, and then you just kind of smear a very thin thing on the back so it won't squeal, and just stick it in there. And we make sure that there's no grease that got on the brake pad, so spray it off with a little bit of brake clean. Actually, I should use my paper towel, but I don't know if that was sweat or something that got on it. Anyway, we put this in, kind of kind of at an angle, and there you go. Repeat on the back side, repeat on the other wheel. I'll cut it in a minute. Got it in, you have to go in at an angle, and then it's up to, you just slide right in. Remember, this part, which is the wear indicator, is at the top. If you do it the other way, it's backwards. So now there's these springs that go in. That there's actually a hole in the brake pad that they go in. One in the top, one in the bottom, and these are the ones that came flying out when I took the caliper off. So I'm going to have to maybe look at a picture to see how they go. I believe it's just like that. How these little springs go in, what it looks like is, let me show you on the bottom one here. There's these little holes in the brake pad and they go in like this. Unfortunately, you have to hold this as you put it down, because otherwise it just spreads out the brake pads. So it's going to be difficult for me to show, but you put it in like this, and somehow you got to hold the pad with one hand while you bring down the caliper. But we need to push in the slide pins. Okay, they move freely, so I don't need to lube them up, since this is not a very old car. Got it in there with those springs. It makes it a lot more difficult because it wants to push out the pads, which is what it's supposed to do. But you had to put the ones at the top and hold it with your right hand after this is up, and put the ones at the bottom, and then slowly hold it while you bring the caliper back down and put it on it. Now we need to tighten up this bolt. It's going to be about 25 pounds, I believe, or maybe 30, in that range. It's just something I noticed, is there's a marker here, and same on the top. It kind of goes to the bolt. So I wonder if that indicates, like where it was, just to indicate the line where they were. So, someone could tell if someone's moved them. So, I don't know. I just extended my extendable ratchet and just tightened it the best I could. I may take my wrench and then use a hammer to make it a little bit tighter. This side's done now, and we just got to put the wheel back on and then do the other side. Here I have put the cover back on the fluid reservoir for the brakes. Now I have put back on all the wheels, done the brakes on all of them, tightened up all the lug nuts. Now we need to go inside and pump the brakes so we get a pedal. Okay, I got a pedal. Let me start the car. I feel like I got a pedal now, so let's go for a little test drive.